You are now responsible for producing, directing, and animating music videos.
It starts with feelings and ideas. It's just random thoughts that pop into your head, and you just have to hope that you're creative enough and qualified enough in your field to come up with something that people want to attach to their tracks. The trick about surviving in the industry is, if you're going to build a team, try and find anyone that you're bringing on, make sure they're better than you. I think humor helps manage awkward moments. No one's going to come looking for you. Like, if you do not have a presence online, you're invisible to the rest of the world.
Mike, I've actually been really looking forward to having this conversation for a long time, because since I met you, I think I've been super curious about your work.
Yeah.
And when I saw some of your work, I was really inspired and amazed that we have this local talent here in SA. And the more I delve into the projects that you've been involved in, the more I'm blown away by not only the clients that you have, but also the quality of the work.
I'm going to go back and watch all your other videos and see if you start the exact same way with everyone.
I don't, I promise. No, I really don't. But I wanted to ask you about your roots, to start with your roots.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Boksburg, and
Good old mining town.
it's a good old mining town.
Yeah.
I think for people who are unfamiliar with Boksburg, it is sort of, in my mind, a leftover town from the gold boom.
Yeah.
And it's littered with all these industrial remnants
Yeah.
of our mining past. There are giant gearheads and things all over the place. So are you drawn to any of that architecture and that industrial style, objects and things like that?
I think I'm more comfortable than most driving through industrial areas, because it's just part of life and stuff, to get from home to the mall or something, or from here to the highway or whatever to get to other places. You drive through industrial areas. Drawn to the architecture, I mean, it just feels familiar and it feels like home, and that smell and everything is familiar. So I think more than most, if we all had to get dropped off in the middle of an industrial area, I'd be the least panicked out of everyone, especially from this side of town. But yeah.
When you were younger, you grew up drawing cartoons, and Ninja Turtles was one of your favorites.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit more about some of your early influences and what it was like learning to draw and studying these influences.
So I think it started off with no real purpose. It was drawing, having fun, people enjoying the drawings and stuff. I think people were just being sweet in the beginning. They were like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, so cool. And then I wanted to be a comic book artist, because I really just enjoyed all the content and everything. And yeah, that slowly moved on to a friend showing me software. Back then it was old software, home video software and stuff, where I could make it move, and that just sparked a whole new kind of world of taking all my drawings where it's just a picture and bringing them to life, and then I could make them look like the Ninja Turtles on TV. And obviously I couldn't, but that was the idea, right? And even things like, I grew up on Mario Brothers, and just sitting in front of the old cassette TV games and everything, and being able to think I could do something similar to that was really inspiring and fun. And then that's where I moved from thinking I wanted to be a comic book artist to moving into animation.
Is there anyone in your family that encouraged you to draw?
Parents were very supportive. I didn't have any... I say I didn't have any artists in the family. My mom's mom painted, but she painted all, the old trees and everything and all that. It wasn't anything close to cartoons or funny stuff and everything. So there is an artist in the family, but I don't paint. So maybe that's where I got the creative thing from, and just because of the way I grew up and everything, it was more cartoons and comics than, this beautiful painting that you can do on canvas and everything. Just the sign of the times and the way I grew up and all that.
So you were never drawn to the traditional art world?
I was horrible at it. I've tried to paint before. I've done a couple of school projects where those will never be public knowledge. Those will not be online, which is fine. I mean, you've got to know your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You get people that are great at painting. You get people that are great at scribbling nonsense. And I scribble nonsense for a living. So I just got to find the right people to give me money for it. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it scribbling. I think it's a different genre of art. But speaking about genres, when it came time to decide which career you wanted to pursue, there wasn't really a clear path for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, here's a subject I'm interested, I'm going to go study that, there's a degree for this, and I'll just, work my way up. So how did you navigate your career decision?
So I wanted to do something in the illustration world and stuff, and there wasn't any, like you said, there wasn't any clear path and all that. So there wasn't an animation school at the time in Johannesburg, and there wasn't a study this, go do cartoons. So I had to look and think about how I could use my talents to make money, and advertising at the time was the only available creative outlet. So I went to Vega and studied there, got a degree in creative brand communication, and that way I could use my talents, if you want to call them that, to then make a living in the ad world and stuff, because you had illustrations, you had posters, you had billboards, you had animation and all of that sort of thing. So that's one way I could see, cool, I want to be a cartoonist and an animator. I can use it in advertising at the time. Now, obviously, you have animation schools and you have a lot of different options. But back then, my age is showing, back then, we did not have a go study animation, get paid to do animation. There wasn't that option. So advertising was where I went.
And so some of your early projects you were working on in advertising were, like you said, posters. I'm kind of guessing you were working on branding and...
Yeah. So it's the usual, what everyone gets into and stuff. It was posters and websites back before we had all these sites that help you just throw together a website by typing in a sentence. Lots of corporate stuff, lots of insurance companies, bank companies. We worked for, I've got all the banks in the portfolio, not all the banks now, but back then all the banks. And it was all very, very exciting, like best creative outlets where it's like, this blue, not that blue. They changed the RGB. Very exciting. But I mean, you had to do what you needed to do to make a living back then.
Yeah. So did you have a moment of, not disillusionment, but a moment of reality when you hit the industry and you almost could sense that this isn't exactly what you had in mind?
No, I think I went in expecting the worst and kind of going, well, that work is work and you have to be a grown-up.
Yeah.
You can't... I think a lot of people these days have options. So it's like, I want to do this and live my dream. And I think that's all manageable because of, not everyone, I'm generalizing now, but everyone's parents working their asses off. So you can go and choose to do whatever you want to do. Even if you're not successful, you have your support and network and backing. Where back then it was, I need to work in the ad industry. If someone tells me to do a website, I got to do a website that day. If someone tells me to do an emailer, got to do an emailer that day. If someone tells me to help them figure out the accounts, that's what you do that day when you go into work and stuff. There isn't this kind of, if you deserve it and you have worked hard for it, you get what you want sort of thing. That wasn't how it was back in the day. And I don't think it's the way it is now. Just society has this kind of curtain where you think you can get what you want now, but it's just as hard these days. And it was a moment of, I was in the ad industry and I was over at a friend's house and everyone was, they were part of a band, the Cavalier at the time. They've broken up since and all that. And it was just an idea of me wanting to do a music video for them. Never thought about music videos before and everything. I just wanted to animate something fun. And yeah, that's how I kind of broke into using what I can do as something fun. It wasn't for any money or payments or anything, but that kind of sparked the move into the next direction of the career. Yeah.
Now, I totally get what you're saying about having to almost learn discipline, learn focus. I always encourage people who ask me, where should I start my career? I always encourage them to go work for a big company first.
Yeah.
Because you learn all the basic principles. And then once you've kind of built up confidence and you really have that work ethic sorted, then you can look at starting your own thing.
Yeah.
But it certainly feels like when you're there that you deserve better, you deserve more, you deserve better.
Yeah.
I'm like a trapped artist.
Yeah.
I just waiting to unleash onto the world. But I think the reality is that you do have to grow in that space and find your own voice.
Yeah.
That brings me to the next question, which was when you were 19 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. You were walking down the street and you saw one of your exes with another guy.
Yeah.
And that fueled you to start animation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that animation went on to win your first Loerie prize.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Craft Loerie. Yeah.
Which is a big deal. I mean, that's something that, very, very few people have won. And I was kind of thinking about this idea of you using your emotions and kind of events in your life to fuel your work.
Yeah.
Is that something that you did?
Definitely. Look, a lot of time you get steered in a certain direction by clients. When you are lucky enough to have a bit of a creative freedom project, it definitely shows, because the more you want to put your emotion into it and you want to try a little bit harder and everything, it shows in the work. Definitely shows. If client goes, I want a green ball and it has to be this diameter and this green, that's what you do and that's what you get. But if someone goes, I want an animation with a bunch of balls, have fun with it, you're going to be like, cool, make them fast, make them slow, make them this, make them that. So the second you can inject yourself into a project, it shows, especially if you're passionate about it. You'll immediately see if someone's enjoying what they're doing or not. So like that, it was my first Flash animation as well. For the youth of today, Flash is now Adobe Animate. And it showed. I was super passionate about it. I really enjoy using humor, and I was mocking myself and mocking the situation and understanding that, do you shout? Do you cry? Do you scream? And I put all of that into this now really dodgy animation. But back then, the software was new, the animation industry was super new, so there wasn't a lot of animated content getting out there. So it wasn't, there was no benchmark to like, this is good work, this is bad work sort of thing. So you put out content, then if it's funny, and it worked.
Yeah.
And first Loerie at 19, which was fun. Yeah.
In another interview that I read, you said that it's super important to learn from failure, and that failure kind of helps you grow in experience and in your education.
Yeah.
What did this early success teach you?
That I was lucky. Because I was always a year younger in my class and everything, I always enjoyed the fact that I achieved things a year before everyone else. That was my kind of motivation. It was like, I got this and I was so young. I got this and I was so young. And then you go out into the real world, no one cares how old you are and stuff. And you very quickly go, oh, okay, I got to use something else now to motivate me. Failure is super important. And I think people get too coddled and cradled and kind of, you get rejected and it's like, oh no. And you lie down and you complain and you go on social media and you whine and you bitch and you moan and stuff. Failure is amazing. Failure is such a good motivator. So we had a project, I won't say which one, because the people I worked for, I'm pretty sure we all laughed about it and stuff. But the best way to get a tough skin is to go onto YouTube and just read the comments. And it's brutal. But you've got to go in laughing and stuff. You have to really go in laughing, because you will have people that will tear you down. And we love it. We love it because we get the love. And then it doesn't matter how hard you've worked or how big the client is or whatever, you're going to get hate. So go and read the bad comments and laugh about it. Use it as motivation and stuff, and take it from there. It's I see it now as motivator. It's hard. Like I'm not gonna lie. When you read like crappy comments, it hurts. But you gotta either laugh about it and tell a friend, phone someone up and be like, "Did you read that comment? It's insane." It's probably some 9-year-old kid laughing or something, or some 80-something-year-old that doesn't even know they're commenting on your video. They think they're shouting at their wife or brother or something. But yeah, it's failure and rejection. Use it as a motivator. Otherwise, you're not going to last in the creative industry. Because especially in the creative industry, where it's not like if you're in any other industry, you do your work. Have you done the work? You get paid. Next. Creative industry. Think about it this way. This is the way I always think about it. Every time I get hate in the industry and stuff. Disney has hundreds of millions of dollars to make a film. They make the film with the best artists in the world. And you put it up there and people just tear it to pieces.
Yeah.
And people hate on it. And I mean, if they're getting hate, you don't have hundreds of millions. You're not Disney. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be people that are miserable and tear it down and stuff. So take it with a pinch of salt, a grain of salt, all the salt, none of the salt. Take it, and you've got to. It's hard the first few times, and it's hard the last few times, but you got to just run with it. Otherwise, you won't last.
I love that idea of being brave enough to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I think that's another one of the things you said, that making art requires bravery.
Yeah.
Speaking of bravery, you started your company, Tune 53, in 2008.
Yeah.
That must have been a brave move, because you were in a position where you were doing corporate work. You were getting corporate work.
Yeah.
You were getting a paycheck. Mm-hmm. But I think the word you used was mind-numbing. Huh? So doing that work, I guess, can feel limiting and restricting, especially if clients overreach on their scope and then they're telling you what color the ball should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Which now, in my years of wisdom and everything, is perfectly acceptable. Client, if you want clients' money, you got to listen to clients. If client says that's not how a dog walks, and you've traced a dog walking, and they say that's not how a dog walks, if you want their money at the end of the day, you've got to go, yes, how would you like it changed? And you've got to just run with that. There's no kind of, I know better, this is what it should be. Mm. And the whole thing is, you've got to think about, like, if you want, I always come back to this, where you can tell someone they're wrong, but then don't expect the cash. Like, if you are working, if I'm doing something for you and I want your money and you tell me that's the wrong blue, it's the wrong blue. I can go, this is the right blue, but then I can't complain when you don't give me your cash. So if you're doing something for someone's money, you have to listen to them. It's working 101, even if they are right or wrong. Yeah.
I've always wondered about this, because there are a lot of artists, and let's be honest, it's more in the creative industry where people feel like, I'm not going to budge on this. This is the right way and that's the wrong way. And if you want to work with me, if you want to hire me, then we're going to do it my way, or else, or else I'm going to not do the project.
Exactly.
Do you ever get to that point? Or
look, if you're at the top of your game, you can be a bit cheeky. But again, another example, let's think about this. The team that did the Sonic movie, right? They have all the backing, all of the money, all of the talent, and they made Sonic, put it out there, and the entire world was like, that's not Sonic's face, that is the dog, that's absolutely horrible. Yeah. And this massive company that's done so many movies before, that know exactly what they're doing, are having these nobodies, these teens, tweens, old people sitting behind their computers that cannot animate, save their life, going, this is horrible work. And they had to make a decision. Do they go, no, we know what we're doing, screw you guys, we're releasing the movie? Or do they go, we want your money, we want you to come watch the movie, we'll change it for you? So that's flipping it around, where you have these people in power, and these people that have no power, even though that's the money they wanted, saying it's wrong, massive company changing up for them and stuff. So you can be at the top of your game, you can be at the bottom of your game. If you want the money, you've got to listen to where the money's coming from. It's as simple as that.
Oh.
You can fight against it, and even if you're right, and it's all about if you want to be correct no matter what, and that's your moral, and that's your this and that, go for it.
Yeah.
But don't be upset when you don't get the cash. So be right and stand your ground, and don't have money. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. That's the way I look at it.
I think that's a healthy way to actually see it. Okay, speaking about clients, I went into your website and I saw your massive list of clients.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? The first thing I thought when I was looking at this was, this is almost like the way you've shown your clients, they're almost like badges.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like Gamer Mike. And I mean, you've referred to you collecting clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, have you gamified your client list? Like, how do you think about, getting more clients?
So I've always collected things. I love collecting things. Back the little discs when we were younger and stuff. The youth of today have no idea what we're talking about. You used to get discs and chip packets and stuff. Pogs, there we go. Comics, I've got over 3,000 comics at home and stuff. I love collecting things and looking after things and the cards and the this and the that. And working was just one of those things as well, where I got a client, cool, maybe I can get 2 more clients, and maybe I can get another band and this band and then that band. And then I think I really just enjoy one day when I'm dead and gone. It's like, here's my collection. It's going to live online forever as long as there's an online. And it's just another collection, collecting brands, collecting artists, collecting, like building up the roster is a way to gamify and motivate as well. You get one more job and you're like, cool. With this job, maybe I can get the attention of that client, and maybe I can get the attention of that artist, and then slowly just collect. And we're sitting at over 170 artists at the moment, and we have hundreds and hundreds of videos. So it's tons of fun. Yeah.
That's amazing. Because I think a lot of animators, a lot of creators will focus their energy on working with one artist. They'll kind of try and say, okay, I am, Ariana's guy for videos, or I'm, whoever's person for, like, they only use me because of my unique animation style.
Yeah.
But it seems like you are going for them all. I mean, you're trying to, work with any artist, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, you can't have blinkers on, otherwise, and you also can't have a lot of artists have a style, and that's how you go forward, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you're famous for your style, that's what you do, you'll get that work. Yeah. But if I wanted to make a living out of it, I needed to adapt and survive and all that. And that's when you got to, the trick about surviving in the industry is, if you're going to build a team, try and find anyone that you're bringing on, make sure they're better than you. Otherwise, what's the point of paying them? If I bring on someone and I don't want them to be as good as I animate because in my ego and they might overshadow me, and what if client goes directly to them and all of that, you aren't going to get the content that's going to get you the next job. And also then, why pay them? Do it yourself.
Yeah.
So whenever you get a team, find people that are better than you, and the work will just be so much better for it. And there's a core team of people I've used over the years, and we understand each other and we work really well and everything. And every now and then I find new talents and bring them on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
But there's a core group of artists out there, and we all know each other. And when I call them up, they know whether I get paid or not. They're getting paid. That usually helps, motivates them quite a lot. And that's tons of fun, because a lot of people work in the industry and they don't know if they're going to get screwed over or not. They don't know if they're going to get paid. They don't know. And that's one thing. I was screwed over so much starting off in the industry that I was like, I'm never going to be that person. So that if it's a Sunday night and we have a deadline on Tuesday or something, I know I can phone up X, Y, and Z and go, listen, it really sucks that you have to work through the night, but you're going to get paid, and the work's going to be good and get out there. And we have an understanding where it's like, they'll work super hard, but they know they're going to get rewarded for it, and they know I'm going to come back to them. So it's going off track here, but it's all about looking after each other. Like, have a friends group, and have a team, and have respect each other enough to be like, this sucks, I know you don't want to work through the night, but if you do, we'll get paid.
There are rewards for everyone. Yeah. So I'm skipping ahead to project team. And I think it's so nice that you brought that up because you lost one of your first opportunities to work with the producers of the PJs.
Yeah.
They basically headhunted you from your Loerie competition animation and said they wanted to do more work with you. They were exploring the opportunity, but they realized that you didn't have this huge back office team working for you.
Yeah.
When they realized it was just you, then they were like, thanks, but we're going to move on. And so how important was it for you to then build a team and build a capacity?
That was literally the only reason I started 253 Productions. So that is the reason I registered a company. And when it is just me, I was getting friends to help anyway. So why not make it official and get a company? And when you have projects, bring friends on, and that's all a company is.
Yeah.
It's just you and a bunch of other people working on a project together. But if you're registered, people take you more seriously, people have more trust in you, and it makes sense. If I had a big project, I'm not going to go to one artist and say, you need to give me all the content. And if one artist goes, I have a few friends, it's like, if you know the artist, you could trust them. But if a company comes to you, you immediately think there's an infrastructure there and there's something built there and everything, which there was. It was just me and my friends. It wasn't like...
It was the informal...
Exactly. It was,
of a company.
exactly. It was just someone wasn't paying the monthly registration fees and salaries and all of that stuff. That is why in 2008, because that happened in 2008, why 253 Productions was formed, and here we are today. So what we were saying earlier, use rejection as a motivation. Because I was rejected and because I lost working on an animated series and a new show from the producer of the PJ Masks and stuff, all of this has happened. So that's using failure to motivate you. It's a nice example.
Yeah. Okay, but we were speaking earlier outside about your friends seeing what you do as like a less serious kind of line of work. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And you have said that it seems like you're playing, but work is work, So touching on this idea of having a serious business, being able to deliver, how do you balance having fun, because a lot of what you do is fun, with serious deadlines and with keeping a professional atmosphere around your business?
So, and this is where a couple of artists I brought on have gotten it wrong, where, sure, they think it's not that serious, but deadlines are real. And, we commit to a contract. And if you miss that contract, there's penalties. And there are big financial issues. Because say someone sets up a music video that's going to be released on X. The label has then gone and put all the marketing in place they're going to get the video, market it, release it. So if you don't give them the video, they've put all this money in place and spent it already to release the video. So then you have lawyers phoning you and you have big labels and everything coming at you and stuff because they need the content that we promised them. So it gets very real very quickly. It's lots of fun until you don't deliver. And then it's not fun at all and it becomes very real.
Yeah.
Luckily, that has happened once. Out of the over 100 videos we've done, it's happened once where 2 artists have dropped us at the last minute. And then you just have to scramble. And luckily, I had a close enough personal relationship with the label and the people running the show that they understood, we came to an agreement, and it was all sorted. Luckily. I mean, if it was a situation where I didn't know them on a personal level, it could have been much, much worse and stuff. But like I said, to any future clients watching this, it's happened once out of the over 100 videos we've done.
Yeah, I mean, that must have turned your blood cold in a second and scared the living lights out of you.
Yeah.
Must have.
It's disappointing because you bring people on and they promise. And I think, especially the younger artists these days, they really don't understand consequence because they have support, and you can almost tell, and a couple of people watching this are going to get annoyed and stuff. You can almost tell when people are privileged because I'm coming on, I'm working, I'm going to do this, but I don't actually feel like doing it. And, I'm a week in and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, so I'm off and stuff like that. And they don't understand that you've now used their work because they've said I'm on board. So you've used their work to land the job. Now you've got to find someone that can copy their work, which is a whole nother ball game. You've paid them a deposit.
Okay.
Are you now going to fight the artist for their deposit back? Because you know the second they got the money, it was spent on something. People don't get money and hold on to it.
Yeah.
No one does that.
Yeah.
So it's insane. That's why the core team I've got, there's trust there, and I can rely on them, which is great. Relying on someone, all you've got to do is just get people to rely on you, and you've made it in the industry. They just have to feel, when people come to 253 Productions and they know they're going to get content, we work really fast, we have this level of quality, all the videos are out there, you can see what we do, and they know what they're going to get.
Yes.
When you bring on new artists, you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
And they have no name in the industry. So if they burn their name, no one cares. They'll just move on to the next company to work and stuff. But now if 253 burns its name, it's burnt. And it's all this hard work since 2008 with hundreds of videos, with massive clients. But they're the company that has now dropped the ball, sort of thing. So it's tricky working with new artists. And I forgot what the original question was.
No, you totally answered it.
Cool.
It was about responsibility, I guess. And on that point of responsibility, you are now responsible for producing, directing, and animating music videos. Yeah, I want to talk about music videos. So I grew up falling in love with music videos in the 90s when kind of MTV came out, and that was like magic. You know, we were all listening to music, and then suddenly there was a visual to accompany it.
Yeah.
So how has the landscape of music videos changed since the 90s, which, in my mind, is kind of the golden age of music videos?
Yeah.
But we've been through a huge evolution to digital, YouTube, social media,
Yeah.
the way we consume music videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how's that changed?
Budgets. Budgets. 100%. People used to drop. If you look at the budgets for the music videos that were shooting in the 90s and everything, there was massive amounts of money being put into it. Now, the budgets are tiny, and they still expect high-level content. And then a lot of the time you have clients and all that, and agents and everything. Fair enough, it's not their game and all that. They send us an example of like one of the top Japanese animated films that took years, that took hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and they go, I've got this budget and we have a month.
Whoa.
This is what we want. And a lot of the time I've said no. I actually got, I'm not going to name drop because I might get into trouble and stuff, but I got a massive client, everyone would know his name in the industry and stuff. And I got called up at 8 a.m. and they said, we need a video for this artist. You have the job if you say yes. We need it by 8 tonight. And I literally said to them, I've got it somewhere, where I said, if you will borrow me $1 billion, $1 billion cash, wheelbarrow it, pour it on my front door, I cannot deliver.
Yeah.
I have to say no.
Yeah.
And then the worst part was, a few weeks later, I saw the video that came out, and it was so bad because someone said yes and couldn't manage. We could have done that. So we could have got the budget. We could have delivered. And now I know for future and stuff, but I would have much rather, I'm happy that I said no so that I didn't burn a bridge by delivering something that wasn't great. So yeah, the main thing that's happened between then and now is mass amounts of money went into it. The budgets and deadlines are, when I first saw the music industry, I always looked at a few videos and went, I can do better than that.
Yeah.
Or we can, that content's not great. Now I understand, if they had a few days, that content is amazing. If they had hardly any budget, how did they do it?
How did they do it?
So it's just understanding, everyone, sees us landing massive names and sees us doing all this like really cool, fun, enjoyable content. And it's not all kind of, we're not getting bags of money, and we're pumping out. The fastest video we've ever done was in a day. We had less than 24 hours. And if I put it out there and everything, and I'm not going to say which one, client was happy, we were happy, they needed something, and we said, cool, we can deliver. This is what we can deliver. Are you happy with it? They were cool with it and stuff. So deadlines are non-existent, and budgets are really small. So the way we manage is just do a lot. So a lot of small budgets is still manageable. You know, you can't get that white whale where it's like a music video, they're going to get $1 million and stuff. That doesn't exist unless you are shooting an artist live. So unless it's live film and stuff, and even then the budget's tiny. But they spend a lot more on live action than they do in animation, because for some reason the animated industry and content is just seen as like a lesser art form. So you pay a lot less for animation than you do for film. Even though film is, and I'm not downing film, but film you can do something in a day, or you can do something in a few days and then edit it and you can have something out in a week. Where animation, you need to get a bunch of artists, they need to sit for at least a month, and even a month is super tight. But if we get a month, we are like, more than enough time.
Really?
Yeah. So you see a lot of artists coming into the industry as well going, I need 3 months for this. And we're like, cool, you'll never work in the industry. You can have 3 months and you can probably do really nice content, but you're never going to make a living. It's just not, the unrealistic is the realistic in the music industry, if we can put it that way. So
I get that. Okay, and now lyric videos.
Yeah.
So there's this emergence of the lyric video. I mean, you guys have done many. In fact, your one you did with Marshmallo and Amory, which is called Friends, hit 1 billion views.
Yeah. It was our biggest one.
1 billion, with a B.
Yeah.
That is massive.
Yeah. It's a couple of years.
So, okay, it's a great song.
Yeah.
So I can understand people would search for it and want to hear it and want to know the lyrics. But who watches lyric videos? Like, who's that audience, and how do you appeal and satisfy those people?
So different brands, different target markets and stuff. They are the Marshmallo team, the Shalizi group, are just masters at what they do. They can, anything they touch is going to be successful. And yeah, they're the ones that got it to over 1 billion views. If it wasn't for them, if it was, you and I, put it this way, you and I can make a Pixar movie in this room. It can be the most amazing movie that's ever been made. And then we've got the movie and we can post it on YouTube and it'll get 10, maybe 1,000 views if we're lucky. It's all about branding and marketing. And that is a whole nother ball game. And you've got to master that and you've got to know exactly what you're doing. And they do. So they're the ones that took it to over 1 billion and stuff. You and I would not get 1 billion views yet. I mean, we might one day. and that's because it's not the content. It's your connections and it's your team behind you. And it's a whole another world in itself. That gets it there.
Now I can leave that. Distribution is super important to spreading the message, getting the word out there. Yeah. I want to take a step back and talk about your ideas. And you mentioned your random idea for the Cavaliers video, where you pictured the drummer, Pat, riding on a dolphin.
Yeah.
I've watched the video. It really works for some reason.
I also don't understand why it works. Yeah.
So how do you approach your music videos? Are they mini films? Are they abstract art?
I think you can have fun with different genres. If it is a love song, you got to be more serious. You got to have feeling and emotion in it. If it is a fun pop punk track, then you can go wild. I mean, you know your target audience. People aren't sitting, looking for the deeper meaning behind it. They are just having fun listening to it. This song's great. Am I angry? Am I happy? Who knows and stuff. So then you can just pump a bunch of random visuals in front of them. And if they're fun, they're having fun. If it is a really slow, sad song, you want something that is a lot more serious, a lot more, even visually and stuff. Everything's toned down, everything. You don't want to come across as, because if you do something that's super fun to a song that's very serious, it comes across as mocking.
Yeah.
Where if you do the exact same visuals for a punk song, it's fun and playful and stuff. So it really is genre to genre. Over the years, the team that I outsource and everything is great. Sometimes client would give us an idea and I'd say, hey guys, this is the idea, let's run with it. Or they go, here's the track, give us ideas. And then I'll talk to this person, this person, and this person and go, what are our ideas? And let's pitch all of them to client and see which one sticks.
Yeah.
So it's me, and when I think my idea is great, but I know client might not like that. So let me get 3-4 ideas, put in front of them, and then I'm open with everyone. I'm like, if they don't like your idea, we're not going with you. If they like your idea, we're going with you and stuff. And because we're all friends, I'm not using and abusing, because I'm upfront with everyone.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with it, then just don't pitch, and we can work on something else in the future.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've built up that trust with a core team where they're like, cool, I'm going to throw an idea out there. If it sticks, let's work together. So it's different videos, different songs, different clients, different record labels. Yeah, it all depends on, if you come to me with a song and you're like, I want it to be about a teddy bear, then we go, cool, let's run with teddy bear ideas. But if you go, here's a song, I have no idea, pitch me something and let's see if something sticks. So every single project is different.
You've said there are no rules when it comes to making music videos. Okay. So what has animation allowed you to do that you can't do in a live action music video?
Anything. If you think it, you can do it. Like that's the joy about animation and stuff. There's no limits. Your only limit is the people you know.
Yeah.
So if you want an anime-inspired video, you need to know an anime artist. If you want 3D, you need to know a 3D artist. If you want 2D, you need to know a 2D artist. So that's your only limitation you'll make.
Okay.
So if you have the connections, you can make it happen.
Wow.
If you don't have the connections and you don't have... So it's first connections, then it's budget. Because like, yes, I know this person, but I don't have enough money to pay them to come on board and stuff. So it's those two go hand in hand, where it's literally who you know. It's the cliched saying of it's who you know.
Not what you know.
Exactly. What you know comes next. Figure it out, land it. If you land it and you are lying about knowing, you better make damn sure you know how to figure out once you land it. Because then you are burning a bridge. But take risk. As long as you know there's a chance you can get it done, do it. You'll surprise yourself.
The reason I ask that is because I've often seen musicians, artists, try and act in a music video, and it's just super cringe. And so I can imagine that with animation, you can create a different persona to that artist that possibly doesn't exist. So in a way, animation gives them a superpower, but I'm curious about the relationship between audiences and fans wanting to see the real person versus an animated version of them.
There is pushback. There's often pushback where you have, for example, we've just done this Shine Down video. Very successful. Band loved it. We have personal relationships with them, and our connections and stuff are strong. We've worked on a few things in the past. Most of their fan base loves it, but you still get those comments where it's like, are you still going to release a real video after this? Like,
real video.
Exactly. And you can't blame them. Fans want to see their idols. Fans want to see who they love and stuff. So I get it. And that's why it was released, and then it puts their official animated video, just to be clear about stuff and everything. A lot of the time, artists love to rather see themselves on screen, which makes sense. They're the brand. So it depends who your audience is, and there's always going to be fans that want to see who they idolize instead of a really cool drawing of them. So I get it. I mean, you can't be upset about it. It would be weird if it was the other way around, where they go, I wish they just animated something instead of shooting so-and-so. Like, I don't want to see so-and-so on screen. You could have just drawn him. or them, or so if you swap it around, then you can't be offended by it, because then it makes sense if you swap it. But you'll always get that. You'll always get fans that want to definitely see live action instead of animation.
But it brings me to this idea of avatars, and the famous animated band Gorillas. Obviously, their identity is an animation, and so they must work so closely with those animators to make sure that whatever is represented is, either specifically what they want or very like the personalities that they're trying to show.
Yeah.
So how do you find that balance of showing a person in a way that you get a feeling or a sense of who they are coming through the drawing?
With a lot of drawings. So sometimes we hit it like right off the bat. Other times there's a lot of pre-production. So you do a bunch of different designs and you put that in front of the artists and they go, this one, not this one, this one, not this one. So we first got to get through the doorkeepers and everything, the gatekeepers, the doorkeepers, where you got to get the label to enjoy it. Then it gets in front of the artist. And then if the artist okays it, then it's cool. We've actually got a couple of music videos that have been created, finished, paid for. They're out there in the world, not online. And the record label has really enjoyed everything we've done because we've got a relationship with them. And the artist sees it and goes, nope. And then it just never gets released.
What?
Finished videos. We've got a few of those. And I'd like to think that's not our fault, because we've been checking, we've been doing all the steps the whole way, and the label's been loving it. Because I'd like to think it's good content. I mean, they wouldn't be enjoying it if it wasn't. But obviously there was a disconnect between them and the artist, and they only showed the artist the final product instead of getting the artist involved right from the beginning, because maybe they're on tour or they're too busy or something like that. And then it's sad because I think the content is great, but it's never going to see the light of day. So yeah, there is that where you say, you either feel it, and even the artists are like, this is me, this isn't me. And then they love it, just like the fans. They're going to love it, or they're just not going to feel it at all. Yeah. So yeah, it's happened, I think, 3 times where we've worked with really big artists and everyone's been loving it along the way. And then they were like, actually, it's not going to be released. But luckily, because we're with big labels and everything, we still get paid and all that. It's not kind of like, we don't want it. Okay, bye. So that's the difference between working directly with record labels. You're going to get looked after as long as you're making them happy. Whereas if you go direct to bands, you can have an awkward moment where they're like, no, cool. And then I still pay my artists. So a couple of videos I've run at a loss. But I'd rather do that, and then I'm happy with myself and the brand and Tune 53. And then when I phone someone up, they're like, cool. Whether you get paid or not, I'm getting money. It's super important in our industry, especially if you want everyone's help. If you want someone's help and you want them to work harder than they usually work, they have to know that they're secure and looked after.
Music videos are about bringing a piece of music to life. And sometimes there isn't an original video.
Yeah.
There isn't a clear sense of sort of what the song could mean and whatever. But then it's your job to interpret that song.
Yeah.
And things like rhythm, kind of mood, all of these things come into play.
Yeah.
So how do you start your process of putting all these parts into something visual?
You listen to the track and you get a feeling, and you either you have a very clear idea of what you want to do, or if you're pulling a blank, then you phone up friends and you're like, listen, sign NDAs, come over, I can't send this to you legally and stuff. Come sit, let's listen, let's brainstorm and think about stuff. And then you slowly get through, you like throw ideas out there and you're like, this is horrible, this might work, that's okay. And we take that further and we take that further. And then we put that in front of clients and hope that they have the same feelings we do. But it's literally just, it starts with feelings and ideas. It's just random thoughts that pop into your head. And you just have to hope that you're creative enough and qualified enough in your field to come up with something that people want to attach to their tracks. So far, we've managed. So far.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite weird that people trust you to interpret their work in a way. And it's like art on top of art. So
putting a face to the audio, which it's just a huge responsibility. Because I mean, it's their entire career, and then they were like, "Here's a song that means so much to us." That's why it was super stressful working with Shinedown on their latest video, because it was such a personal and such an emotional track. Where you go, cool, I'm going to do you justice, and I'm going to put this in front of you and hope you have the same feelings we do. Even though you have this entire history behind the track that we don't know about. We're getting surface level interpretations and ideas. So we're going to then inject our own emotions into it and give you our story and hope that you relate to our story for your track. So yeah, it's super, it's especially with songs like the one we've just done for Shinedown, where it's very heavy and very emotional, and you could very easily get it wrong if you don't do the right thing. Where with a fun track, silly visuals. Much easier. So you're still going to do cool visuals. For example, a lot of they've moved away from animation now, but since 2017, for a good few years, we did a lot of the Marshmallo animated content, and that was just have fun. That was cool. Have fun, put this in front of us, do it, does it work, doesn't it work? And, that was a lot less, not risky, but in terms of pushback, where as long as it looks cool, we love it. Where with an emotional piece, you've got to really hit the marks. Otherwise, if it's about someone's dead mom or dead dad, if you don't hit the mark, it's very serious content that you're not hitting the mark on. Where this is just dance. Shake your ass and be happy and stuff. So it really is project.
You've answered my next 3 questions.
I'm that good.
Yeah, you're so good. How did you know?
Okay, that's a wrap. We're done.
I've always watched music videos and wondered what the life of the artist would be like, what the story behind the visual is. And this one series that I saw you created called Beyond the Bus.
Yeah. So just to be clear, to be very clear, we did not create it. And the guy that animated the first bunch of episodes made it very clear to us as well that we did not create it. We have just been brought on, and we've animated a few of the latest episodes.
I found that so interesting how there's a whole life behind the video, behind the story that we all see. So is that a new genre that you guys have kind of identified and seen could work? Sort of stories of artists and their work, as opposed to just seeing the video or the next video coming out. To actually have almost not explain the videos, it's like a documentary style exploration of
it's fan content.
Things that
if you are a fan of a certain band, you watch the music videos, but you want more. You go to the concerts, but you want more. You want to go VIP, you want to go backstage, you want to feel like you know them, you're a part of them and stuff. So all of these stories, which are all written by You Music and all of that, we get given all the content to then character design and animate, where they just want the fans of these bands to just have more and just feel like they know the artists a bit more, behind the scenes. The 2 Billy Idol videos we did. It's just, who thought we would be animating Billy Idol giving stuff to his heroin dealer? I'm like, can you put that out there? Apparently you can, and fans love it, and fans know the artist, and it's funny because you're at such a stage in your career and all that where you don't have to worry about offending or being touchy, and his fan base loves it. That's what they want to see.
It's so funny because I was just listening to a Billy Idol song the other day and looking at that album cover, and I said to my wife, this is such a cool photo. And so hearing him say he was so irritated by the photo, understanding that really expanded on my idea of him. And I laughed my ass off at that story. That was really brilliant. So I wish all artists would have that channel almost to their fans, where you can see more real life, even if it's just voice connected to animation.
Us too, so we get more work. I wish everyone would do that. And then it's the best because then you read the comments on the Billy Idol video and fans are asking for more and everything. I'm like, cool, we're going to get more. And we haven't got more yet. But
I know.
no one else has got it, so we haven't lost the job. But yeah, we're waiting.
I really hope you do get, because I love those pieces. And rock stars have got quite a dark side to them, but a very humorous side. So, one of the other artists that I saw was playing practical jokes on each other. And so there's this whole sort of dark, funny, playful side and world to their art.
They're also flawed humans, which is what you get to see. You get to see this like glimpse into their flawed lives as well. We can all laugh and we can all enjoy it, and they're just people at the end of the day as well. Not that we go and give stuff to our heroin dealer, Billy Idol does, but I mean, he can, so why not?
But do you identify with that sort of dark humor, and were those easier to make than maybe some of the other animated?
They were all fun to make because like it's a serious topic, so just pull it apart and have fun. And we actually had so many back and forths about what the heroin dealer had to look like. We designed a crackhead, and we were like, no, but he doesn't look like he's making enough money. And then label gets back to us and they're like, no, but his hair isn't greasy enough. And then we get back and then we're Googling heroin dealers. And I mean, if you had to see our search history, they'd be like, what? And then image search heroin dealer. And then does he have a glitter jacket on? No, that's a pump. And then we try. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. And there's a lot of back and forth.
That leads nicely to my next question, which is about a sense of humor. So I've seen your designs for characters that some of them are hilarious. They're always quirky and unusual and interesting and different to what I've seen a million times in other animations. So how important is it to have a very light approach and a sense of humor and fun when you're doing these types of projects?
We start with that, and either they land or they don't land. So a lot of the time, and again, it depends on who the team is. So I could outsource someone and they love to illustrate characters in a certain way. So that's what everything's going to look like. Or we're going to outsource someone that illustrates in a certain way. Again, for example, our Shinedown video was done by an incredible artist, Ray Witcher, and he's busy with his PhD in comics and all of that. Sorry, Ray, if I get it wrong. He might have his PhD already, but I think he's just handed it in and he's waiting to see if he gets it. He's going to hate me that I don't actually know. That's his work there. We've actually framed and they've got some of his work there and stuff. So then those videos look like Ray's work. And then these videos look like Keenan's work. And then these videos look like Sean's work and stuff like that. And then some videos look like my work and stuff. It really depends on, we put together pictures of my style, your style, his style. We send it out to clients, whichever one they like, we land. Because rather, let's put a bunch in front of them, because you might like my style, but you might like Ray's style, sort of thing.
Yes.
And then I don't want to miss out an opportunity where we could have landed it, but I didn't put Ray's in front because I want it to be my work. So you also have to put your ego aside as well and realize different people like different things. We look at different artworks, we look at different shows. So you really just use your network, put everyone in front and see what sticks. But we like to, go back to your original question, we do what we love and then we see if it sticks. If it doesn't, we mold and change. And they might send us reference saying, no, more like this or more like that. But we first try and get our stuff out there. And then from there, we edit and mold if they want.
Do you think storytelling is like joke telling?
Depends how damaged you are. You'll find people that have been bullied and abused are usually funnier.
Yeah.
Or just really quiet and sad. So it's like one extreme or the other. I think humor helps manage awkward moments. where, if I sat here like this and just never smiled and all that, it would be super uncomfortable for everyone in the room. But yeah, we're laughing, we're relaxed, we're having fun. I just enjoy humor. My dad's been funny my whole life, so then I was funny.
Okay.
So I think, that was definitely a big part of why I think I'm funny. I'm sure there are a lot of people that just hate sitting in the same room as me. Because either it's one of those like you enjoy it or you don't.
Yeah.
There's no,
Yeah.
that guy's too much and like that guy keeps quiet and all that. Or, oh, he's hilarious. But that's how I think of other people as well. You either get someone's humor or you identify or you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, humor is a big part of everything in my life.
Yeah, I've always thought that if you land a punchline, it's like giving a good ending to a story. It's very similar. And sometimes I see your animations as mini jokes. And I don't know why, I just thought about that series that you made and tried to pitch to Comedy Central about the abortion babies. What is it called?
The Smells Like Love, The Unwanted.
Yes.
Yeah. All about the abortions living in the sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, how did we get there?
One day when I have a little bit of extra cash, I'm still going to make that series and just put it out there. That's a form of art, right? Because you are forcing an emotional reaction. And as long as it's making you think or feel something, it's working.
Yeah.
Like how boring would life be if just no one was ever offended and no one was ever happy or no one was ever sad? Or we need all the emotions. One day when we're all on our deathbeds, and we've been through a death recently and stuff, no one is going to care about anyone else except themselves in their final moments. There might be a glorious heaven. There might be absolutely nothing. We don't know. Like no one really 100,000% knows, right? We all hope.
Yeah.
We hope we're going to all be sitting on a cloud chatting to someone else we love. But we don't know. So just have fun and do whatever you want because you're going to be dead and gone one day. Unfortunately, all of us. No one's going to escape death. And this just got super morbid.
No, I'm trying to think about, because I would like to talk to you more about that. I mean, I know it's a sensitive topic. You guys just did experience a death, and it was your father-in-law, and he was living with you guys for a long time, 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
And he was in a wheelchair, and
thanks to the stroke.
Yeah, he had a stroke. So did you use your work at all to deal with any of that? Or is it something that you preferred to keep private and inside?
So the one great thing about Andy was he loved music more than I did. So when he came and lived with us, there was always music playing. It was great. Like it's to have someone else, where music for me is work and all of that. He just loved the classics, loved music, always wanted to know what I was doing, like took a huge interest in everything.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys must miss him. And like, it's kind of sad to me too, to like see the spaces. You took me around and showed me where he was staying. Yeah. And it kind of, you do get the sense that there's maybe a void he left behind. But
but that's it. Like everyone, that's the thing. I mean, it doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But he was just like I keep saying to Jane and stuff. It's hard and it's difficult and it sucks. He was the first. I might be the next. So you don't go oldest to youngest sort of thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't know. Someone you could be next. I mean. And this might never release, and then what's the point?
Exactly.
You could be next. So like we're all gonna die, and it's just you gotta just deal with it and process it and enjoy the time you have.
Yeah.
He was a huge music guy. He was a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to have that time with him.
Yeah.
And that he took interest in your work. That must be nice.
It did help with him living with us, that he cared about what it did.
Forced it on him.
Look here.
You mentioned your wife. So let's talk about art quickly.
Yeah.
Because I visited the
I heard I missed you at the gallery. Yeah, at the walkabout.
for a walkabout, and she's the co-curator of that gallery and exhibition.
Yeah, with learned contemporary.
Yes. Yeah. And how much of your work is influenced by what she's doing and vice versa?
So we always make jokes. We always say we're lucky enough to be far enough apart in the creative industry to never butt heads. So I find it quite humorous that you and your wife are
both architects.
Both architects, yeah. So I'm like, there must be some head butting, even though it could be filled with love and all of that. You know, you land something and the other one's like, Argh. So we are far enough apart for that to never, you know, Jane's never going to land a music video, but I'm never going to go to like the biggest art shows in the world and stuff, even though we've traveled and been to them and stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Like her contemporary art world and my very commercial animation world never really coincide. We help each other and give each other advice and everything, but there's never, like, it's far enough apart for there never to be awkward jealousy or anything like that.
Right.
And I'd like to think, even if it was, there wouldn't be awkward jealousy. We should kind of help each other out. The joys of being with your best friend and not just someone you sleep with, and, under the same roof with. So far, yeah, I mean, we've known each other for over 17 years now, and it's worked so far. So, yeah.
No, I definitely think there's a sense of co-curatorship. If you have interests that align, she can see you working on something, or she's putting together an exhibition, and then you can, you know, provide a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's helpful because it's someone that you really trust.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really enjoyed the exhibition at the gallery.
Yeah.
That's titled Fiction. And I felt like all of the artists, because it's a mix of different artists, they were all pushing different media, and they're used to working, some are painters, some are sculptors, and all interpreting their own idea of fictions, this idea.
Yeah.
So if you were invited to exhibit at the Fictions gallery exhibition, what would you submit?
It's a good question, because you've got to be, you are now representing one of the curators and gallery owners, so you have to really consider what you're gonna give in. I honestly don't know, and because it's not my field, you know, and that's the thing about being very commercial. There's a bit of me that goes, I haven't studied fine arts. I'm not in the world, so I don't feel like I'm qualified or belong there, sort of thing. Even though I have success attached to me, I'm not. It's almost like if I add something, it might feel like I'm mocking contemporary art because I haven't paid my school fees, so to say, to be part of it.
So you don't think what you do is art?
I think it's commercial art, which is very different to contemporary art. I don't think I've earned my place among those artists. So I don't really know what I'd add without, because I'm always going to bring humor to it, right? So whatever I do is going to be something silly. And in that context, it might come across as me mocking the whole idea of the seriousness of the show. And other people might be like, no, but that's your brand and stuff. Yeah. But that's personally how I feel because I haven't, it's like before you get your driver's license, you're super nervous and you're sweating and you're like, I can drive a car, but if someone stops me, second you get your drivers, all of a sudden you're driving much better and you're more confident. Even you could be driving like an a-hole, but you got your drivers, so you if that's making any sense. Like if I studied fine arts, then I'd go in and still do humor and mock everything and all that, but I'm qualified, so it's fine.
Look, there have been plenty of unqualified artists, and
it's true.
I think, your work, you've got enough experience, track record. I mean, if you're talking about harnessing a skill, like you've done it so many times that you like almost a master of that skill. I don't think it would be out of place in a gallery. In fact, the message that I got from that exhibition was you're encouraged to interpret it in your own way. So I kind of felt like what you do is also illustrating fictions all the time.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised to not see one of your pieces there, or something, or a mural, or something that. So, anyway,
I'm not part of the cool kids.
Yeah, not yet. Well, I thought maybe Jane was like, no, Mike, stay in your studio, do your own like animation work. Leave this to the professionals. I wanted to quickly talk about South Africa versus the rest of the world.
Yeah.
How can you encourage young South African artists to land their first music video?
Online presence. So literally, that's how I went from a little mining town in Boksburg to the international platform. It's to have work online. No one's going to come looking for you. Like if you do not have a presence online, you're invisible to the rest of the world. Don't sit and be like, no one's finding me. I'm emailing and all that. It's all about your portfolio. If you have a super strong portfolio online and you have a matric, or if you have someone that has their degree in animation or their master's in animation, but your portfolio is stronger than theirs, they're going to go with you. So it's all about your online presence. I mean, you can be qualified, unqualified. It's all about the work. Get it there and then put that in front of clients and get rejected 500 times and land one client, and then you've got your first client. So we still get rejected on a daily basis from people that we've worked with before. It's all about you're not going to land everyone, but you're going to land something, but you have to put yourself in front of them. I think that's why brands like Coca-Cola and everything do so well, because they're just everywhere. McDonald's is everywhere. McDonald's food sucks, right? And it's proven that you get poisoned and it's not healthy and it lasts forever and it's killing you, but it's everywhere. So people think about, let me go eat McDonald's when I'm hungry. If you're not in front of someone, that's why marketing is so important. If no one's thinking about you, no one's thinking about you. It's as simple as that. It's the same as the artists. People send me portfolios and they go, cool, this is what I'm doing. And I go, right now, there's nothing for this, but please, at least once a month, spam me. Keep sending me content. Because there've been a couple of instances where I know a year ago or 8 months ago, I can remember someone emailed me something that I could use now, but I can't remember their name and I can't find them. And then I miss out, they miss out. And it's because they're not in my face all the time. Once there's a restraining order, stop emailing and stop spamming someone. But you have to be on someone's mind. We constantly emailing out our clients, our agents that represent us. I'm still reaching out to them going, don't forget us. Even though we're on their portfolio, we're there, they use us and stuff. If you're not talking to them, they're thinking about other people.
Yeah.
So get yourself out there. No one else is going to get you out there. It's as simple as that.
Keep knocking on the door.
Knock until someone sends you a letter of...
Literally, leave us alone now.
yeah. And even then go, cool, I'll give it a month.
Yeah.
And message them again and stuff.
And go again.
Yeah, because literally no one's going to help you. And no one's... Even when you have agents and representation and all that, remind them to put you in front of other people and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you quite bravely went on an international, road trip or marketing trip to Canada and France and Portugal.
Yeah, we were on TV in Portugal, which was hilarious because I had no idea that the show we were going to, luckily the guy I was with was Portuguese. I had no idea it wasn't an English TV channel. So there I am, and they were like, no, and everything was in Portuguese, and I didn't know what. I was just smiling like an idiot. So yeah, that was humorous.
But you got your face out there. You've worked with international clients, really famous people, and you've also worked with a lot of local artists like Jack Perro and Pilotones and so on.
Yeah, Majosi.
Yikes.
Guys, yeah.
I've seen those Majosi videos. They're great. So what's been your experience? Is there a difference in the way these artists want their work to be shown compared to overseas people in the States?
Just overseas artists just have more support from the label, from the support structure and team, and like funding and all of that. Local talent just has to like grind and struggle and try and get it out there and try and make whatever work with the little that they have. So that's the main difference. They're just as passionate and just as talented as the overseas clients. They just don't have the backing and support. Like they're trying to do it themselves. They're trying to get out there, and where the labels overseas, even the same labels that are here, have a lot less budget than the labels that are overseas, even though it's the same label and company and stuff. They just, the branches here just don't get the funding to support any great content. So that's why a lot of the time locally, everything's a lot more creative, and risks are taken and it looks different and stuff, because there just isn't the budgets that support the artists overseas. That's the main thing I've noticed from my personal experience.
Do you take a South African view, would you say, of the international artists? And is there like a South African flavor that you try and import into that work? If you're working for someone in America, say?
I don't know. I've never thought about that. I guess I do, naturally. But a lot of the time we are kind of directed in directions by them. So then you can't really put too much of your own creative flair into it. Yeah. We have a lot of creative freedom if they come to us for our style visually, but story-wise and everything, we're not going to pitch to them a race happening in the middle of Soweto or Joburg CBD to an international client, because no one's going to be able to relate. So we don't try and force South African content. So in that sense, no. But I'm sure if an outside person had to view, there must be a lot of South Africanisms that come across in the work. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the dark content, like humor, or just dealing with situations differently. I think the one thing is, it's very hard for me to get starstruck. I respect the bigger artists and all that, but I've never been like, oh, I can't be in the same room and all that. So that's helped. You email people, you phone people, you're like, let's work. And they're like, who are you? I'm like, the guy doing the next music video.
Okay.
So it helps me not being starstruck, helps me be cheeky, which gets me a foot in the door. Sometimes people slam the door and they're like, you don't know who you are. I'm like, I do. I'm the guy making the next music video. So you need to use that like cheekiness and stuff to get out there. You can't be shy. If you are shy, you need to get someone that is your representation, that isn't shy, because you have to kind of just and a lot of people, maybe, I think they respect it in the industry and the label, where, I'm not, ooh, thank you for talking to me, and thanks this and that, and like, I'm just not starstruck in the most respectable, like a respectful way. I'm not, I deserve to be here. I'm not arrogant, but I'm just, it doesn't stop me from communicating.
You just have confidence, and I think you see the artists sort of on the same peer level as you, maybe.
Sure, even that sounds a bit cheeky. But, I don't see them on pedestals. They are talent that are incredibly successful. Let's work together.
You worked on a short film with Ryan Tedder.
Yeah.
Okay, from One Republic.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to read this because I don't understand it. So you animated a group of Bored Ape NFTs owned by him, and Kygo and Snoop Dogg and Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they're all friends. So they all had these crypto apes, and they wanted to just create content around that, because the more hype there is around content, the more valuable it is. And at the time, it was Kygo and Ryan Tedder that started a digital band, and they made a track, and then they wanted a short film / music video to go with that. And because it's all these apes, animation would work for it. And we'd worked with them in the past for One Republic and everything. So he knew about us, and he pitched us this idea. Yeah, and then we just went with it, and it
Wow.
was tons of fun and just something different.
In the NFT world, like you said, the more hype is built around that artwork, the more
Yeah.
valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
So you're essentially adding immense value beyond just views.
Yeah.
It's now dollars. So is there a future in NFTs for animated content, animated music videos?
I definitely think so. I think it's going through a slump at the moment. It was incredibly valuable when it first came out, and now everything is dropping quite a bit, but I think it's going to level out. Where it levels out to, I'm not sure, but there's always going to be value in it. Whether it's, the problem is you're seeing NFTs that were going for $1 million now going for $10,000, the exact same thing. So there's a huge slump, but it's still going for $10,000. You know, even though it used to be a massive value, there's still a value behind it, and there's a place for it in the world. I think because it's so new, people just don't know where it's going to settle and where it's going to kind of be and stuff. But yeah, digital content, animated digital content will always be something in the industry.
Does the emergence of AI threaten that?
Definitely. Yeah. The way I look at it is, you know, when you had traditional artists and then you had animation software coming out,
Yeah.
everyone was like, we're not going to have jobs. But then you just learn to use those tools. And then you had other digital tools coming out that help painters paint digitally. And Photoshop came out, so you didn't have to have a piece of paper and pencil and draw backgrounds. You could draw backgrounds, and they thought they were going to all lose their jobs and stuff. And if you didn't adapt, you did lose your jobs. So I think AI is a very big hype word right now. And yes, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs and stuff, but just jump on that train and figure out how to use the tool that is AI to your benefit. And I think the world in the future is going to look very different. I think if you're a plumber, you're good.
Everyone keeps saying plumber.
Yeah, it's like if you use your hands to do something, for now, I mean, AI might even destroy that in the future.
Yeah.
But if you're using your hands to physically do something, all the jobs that were lesser and looked down on in general society and stuff are going to be the only ones that exist in the future.
Yes.
And I think a lot of creative and digital jobs are going to disappear. But the animation company, instead of us all sitting animating, are now going to be a bunch of people writing stories in code and bringing it up and going, do we bring that reference, that reference? So we're all still going to exist. We just need to adapt. We are going to all lose our jobs if we don't adapt. And I don't know what the future looks like, but I definitely think it's going to be very different in a few years. So that's why we started a luxury cats hotel. AI can't look after cats.
Okay, tell me about the cat hotel.
Okay, so Kitty Religion, we just went overboard and just had fun. And it's small, we've got 8 suites. And yeah, just in the area, we were like, let's do something fun and have fun. We love cats. Let's get paid to look after people's cats. I mean, it's not the worst job in the world.
It's really remarkable and
unnecessary.
But at the same time, you know, you showed me photos of your previous place and just looking around your house here. You always bring color and design and like all these interesting, different ways of seeing things into the way you put together a space. Even that you know, it's like your illustrations coming out into other parts of your life. So, you know, I feel like if your cat is into anime or you know, or you kind of part of this world, then this is the perfect like place for your cat hotel.
I see what you did there with perfect. Yeah.
Oh,
okay, of course you picked that up.
So, okay, you love animals and that as well. Is the cat hotel gonna grow?
I hope so. I mean, we started in March. We are booked out over all holidays. In between the holidays, we're quiet, but that's the name of the game. People aren't going away, so they're not needing someone to look after their cats. But that we knew that it's a seasonal brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're already getting bookings for December and everything, and things are going well. And it's fun. It's just a little side hustle. And what's nice is we're never going to run it. I don't know, this sounds weird saying it out loud. We're never going to run it as a business.
because it's just a passion
Yeah.
project. I'm always going to be animating. Jane's always going to be, head of academia and running her art gallery and everything. But we're creative and we need outlets, so we're probably going to be doing other stuff. And it's all just us trying to figure things out. We're bored, so we need to be busy all the time.
You've got 2 young kids.
Yeah.
How are you teaching them about the work that you do? Do you think it's important to raise them in a specific way around art? I mean, you and your wife are artists.
Yeah.
And how are you seeing their creativity coming out?
We are just trying to raise them to be happy at the moment. Like, laugh at all the serious stuff. Not that they have too much serious stuff in their lives at the moment, but yeah, don't be mean. Be happy. And just right now enjoy, because life's going to get very real very quickly. So we're just trying to let them be kids for as long as possible. A lot of our content I can't show them, but when they were smaller, not so much now, because they're now at that stage where they can decide if they like stuff or not. But when they were smaller, they used to sit in front of all our Tones and I videos and all of that and just dance to them and have fun and really watch over and over and over and over again. And then in the art world, if they want to go into the arts, Jane and I are going to have to start making a lot more money. They can go into the arts if they want, but then we are screwed. We'd love for them to be accountants or lawyers, but whether that happens or not, we'll see.
And who knows what's going to happen to accountants and lawyers these days?
Exactly. So, plumber. I mean,
let's go be.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, Mike, for not only for today, but for creating the work that you do. It's hard at times.
Yeah.
And, like any creative pursuit, there are ebbs and flows, and we're all battling through that, being challenged by the future of technology and where that could lead us. But I think that the work you do tells a real human story. You add this unusual sense of humor, sense of insight, by bringing visuals to music and bringing your art to an audience. Yeah. And I think that for me is the most exciting thing a human can do, is put their art into the world and be brave enough to have a viewpoint and express that in that way.
Yeah.
So with huge admiration, I want to say thank you and keep making the work that you do. It is very appreciated. And yeah, man, I hope you land the next big video.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Thanks for today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Brilliant.